Well, first off, I give a lot of credit to Todd Orlando, DC over there. He did a tremendous job of getting away from a lot of tendencies he's had for over 10. I've known him for almost 14 years. He did a great job. Um, but we had self-inflicted wounds, SIWs. We had Moxpies, missed opportunities for X plays. I got to do a better job of putting our guys in situations and moving pieces around to put guys in situations where they can be successful. But from the first 3 drives to the last 10 drives, that was a big difference. We were in a lot of first and 20 situations. With some SIW, we had 5 holding penalties. We had some missed opportunities for X plays. And again, I got to do a better job of putting guys in places where they can be successful and move pieces around for where we are right now with people in the offense.
And then obviously, losing Anderson at the time that you did, just how much of that played a role in what you were planning to do, thinking you were going to have?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you did. That's part of moving people around. You know what I mean? And having people who are, how can we get, by rule, NCAA makes us play 5 offensive linemen. There's going to be a quarterback on the field. So who are those next 5 guys that can play for us? And who are those next 5 guys we can put in situations to be successful? And that's what we need to get to when we're low on numbers in a certain room. And that's what we got to do a better job of. That's what I got to do a better job of, and that's what we're going to tweak a little bit this weekend and play with.
How could this season have you graded Seth's performance so far this year?
Seth is playing within himself. What we're seeing defensively is a lot of drop 8, a lot of guys playing coverage, a lot of guys playing deep on us, preventing us from throwing a deep ball and forcing us to be patient. He's completing somewhere mid to high 60% of his passes. He's playing very much within himself right now. There's opportunities that he has where he can make throws. There was a corner route to Jamari on this past weekend. I thought the post he threw to Rock, it was a holding penalty, but the post he threw to Rock needs to be located better in some of those situations. But he's playing within himself right now and taking what the defense gives him.
Is there any, because obviously we've noticed that a lot of passes that are underneath the tight ends or running backs, is there any frustration with him or with the receivers of these downfield passes just haven't been available?
No, again, right now, when you watch film and you watch the defense are doing for us, that's what's there. That's what we need to take. What they're forcing us to take. That's why I thought Todd did a really good job of forcing us to take the underneath stuff and take 5 yards here, 5 yards there, 5 yards there. So when deep shots and when Moxby situations arise, we got to be able to take advantage of those situations, and that's what we haven't been good at the past 2 weeks, which I thought early in the season we were pretty decent at that. The past 2 weeks, that's where we haven't been good at that. 5 or 6 situations where deep throws, deep balls came into play. We either missed them, didn't catch them, whatever it may be. So that's what we got to be better at.
How do you, obviously throw the pass, catch it, but how do you drill that? How do you make sure that
Yeah,
time it's over?
practice the heck out of it, man. Practice the heck out of it. But again, we got to be efficient, and that's what we weren't this past weekend. We had 5 penalties. We had a turnover on 4th down, is what it is. You know what I mean? But we got ourselves off track. There was 4 times in that game we were 1st and 20. That's a tough get. You know what I mean? There was one time we had got the run down to the 8-yard line, but a holding penalty put us back to the 30 whatever. Those are things we can't do to ourselves.
And how are you seeing, obviously with the season that Rock had last year, we talked about it heading into the season, how are you seeing defenses respond to Rock Taylor with everything he had on film last year?
Yeah, I mean that's part of it. That's part of them rolling to. That's why you're seeing the tight ends a little bit more. That's why you're seeing the running backs in the throw game a little bit more. And that's what we gotta move people around to be able to get them the ball. As much as possible and put them in places where they can maximize themselves. And that's really what I'm focusing on this week is moving people places and getting them in other spots and in different places and get the ball into the right guy's hands.
And speaking of this week, looking at North Texas and what they do defensively, just what are you seeing out of them?
Yeah, they're 5-1. They're playing really good ball right now. They're flying high. Only loss is Texas Tech. So they're flying high right now. They're a really good defense. They play a very unique style, 3 safety defense. So I expect them to, do that, play hard. They play physical. They're feeling good about themselves. Again, they're 5-1 coming to Memphis. This is their time to turn the corner. So we better be ready.
Lampshade.
Yep.
Having a really good season. Obviously, you talked about it. He's open a lot. He's available. What's better about him this year? What has he improved on that makes him?
Yeah, I think I said to you at some point, that guy works so dang hard. He's in here every night. I mean, whatever time we're here too, he's here at 7, 8 o'clock at night catching the jugs or in the cold tub or the hot tub or taking care of his body. He's earned every piece of success he's having right now, and he's doing a great job of getting to his sandbox and getting himself open. And I think Seth has a good feel for him. comfort feel for him to find him in the zone coverages. And again, what the defense is doing right now is allowing him to be successful in situations. He's taking advantage of it.
I don't know if this was planned in the game plan, but Makari got in there, made a couple plays. What's excited you about him and who's been?
Yeah, you know, he runs straight downhill. He runs straight downhill. He runs hard. He's a big body shoot. He's a 200, and probably on a bad day 225, but on a good day probably around 221, 220. You know what I mean? So he runs really hard. He's done a good job at practice of getting some, you know, forced immediate experience. You know, we're thin in that room, so he's been getting a lot of reps at practice, more than he was getting early in the season, more than maybe was expected for him where he is in his career right now. But you know, I have a full faith and full trust in him if he goes in the game, as to where what we can do with him.
How significant is that? You know, if you look at the depth of the running back room ahead of the season, and then what it is now with Sutton and Greg out, to have a young guy like that who you trust in that way.
Yeah, it's good. You know, it's good, and we get lots of reps at practice, which is good. Through spring practice, through this, you know, modern day college football, the summer OTAs, to the fall camp stuff. So we do a good job of getting guys in and getting them a ton of reps in practice. That, you know, he's quickly matured and quickly grown. Now his progression has to, you know, continue to grow very quickly because of the situation going on right now. But you know, I feel good about him. I feel excited about him. You know, when Rio and Brandon are there and healthy, those are guys we ride because they got the experience. You know, but you know, to have a guy from Makari that can go in and get us some downs and get those guys' legs back a little bit, that's huge.
I mean, how have you, like, you know, Brandon Thomas is a guy who, over the course of his career, his role has changed, and now it's back into like a more of an every down back. How have you seen him?
It's fun.
On that role?
It's fun to watch Brandon because he accepted every single role he's had since I met him. You know, he went from a guy who started as a freshman prior to me being here, to a guy who became a role player the last couple of years, to a guy who's now playing as good a football I think he can play right now within himself. He's catching the ball out of the backfield. He runs physical as a son of a gun downhill, does a great job in pass protection and the small things that people don't see on TV, you know what I mean? So it's been fun to watch a guy in nowadays college football go from, you know, being the starter to being a role player to having the same positive attitude all the time, to have the same work ethic all the time, and now to see it start paying back off for what he's doing, man. It's been fun, and it's a lesson to everybody, man. Just stay the course. Grass isn't always greener other places.
And he mentioned how the teammates respond to him. He said they call him in terms of one of the old heads in the locker room. To have that type of wisdom and just to see him respond to everything he's done, just how important is it to have that type of personality?
You know, it's great. It's great. I love everything about Brandon. He has a smile on his face every single day since I've known him. You know, he got a lot of stuff going on, but he comes to practice. When he's on the practice field, he is happy. He's excited. He's excited to be football. He's picking teammates up. He's asking questions in the back. You know what I mean? And that goes all the way through when he was being the role player. And now to see it, I think the guys on the team see it too. They saw his work ethic. They saw what he was doing. They saw that he was busting his tail just as much as anybody else, and not getting the ball all the time, not playing, not getting all the playing time that he was getting his freshman year. And then to see that, you know, come back around full circle to where he's at right now and the level of ball he's playing right now, he's doing a tremendous job for us. And the guys are excited when the old man can step in and do it. And it's fun to watch him downhill sometimes. All right, guys, appreciate y'all.